Hey besties, thank you so much for clicking on my channel. If you don't already know who I am, my name is Lindsay Johnson and I'm just a beauty lover. I'm so excited to be sharing with you guys this specific beauty video. This video is going to basically be about the 10 eyeshadow palettes that I would keep in my collection if I could only have 10 and that's it. Now, I'm still not 100% sure with everything that I chose, but after thinking about it for I would say a few hours, honestly, I think this is what I would choose and I will explain, of course, why. But I just feel like if I could only have 10, I would want to have some color, neutrals, some really glam products where I could really amp it up if I wanted to, and of course holiday. So I just decided to kind of go that route, and yeah besties, I hope that you guys enjoy this video and let's jump right into it. So I figure we should probably start with the eyeshadow palette I'm wearing on my eyes currently, just in case you guys are curious about the eye look. So I am using the Moonspell Volume 2 Lunar Beauty palette today, and I definitely would put this in my top 10. Now, I want to say quickly before we continue that just because these are my top 10 palettes I would keep in my collection doesn't necessarily mean that they are my top 10 favorite palettes. We can definitely do a video like that though if you guys want. These are kind of just the 10 that have everything that I think I would need. You know what I'm saying? So this is again the Moonspell Volume 2, and you open it up and you have some really beautiful red, berry, purple, just lovely shades in here. The shimmers in there are amazing and the mattes are just so unbelievably good. So I really enjoy this palette and it would have to stay with me, you guys. I really also like Volume 1 if you guys have seen that one as well. I just think that one is a little bit more grungy, whereas this one I could definitely use it probably throughout the whole entire year, whereas number 1 I'd probably only use literally in October. So for me, I decided I had to have a palette like this because this is really everything I'm looking for in one single palette, so I had to have that one. Then on the complete opposite side of things, I chose the Jaclyn Hill palette, which looks like this. Mine is super dirty. Someone in the comment section on my eyeshadow palette collection totally roasted me in the comments about how all of my used palettes are dirty. So you guys, I'm sorry about that. If that triggers you, you guys, I just really am heavy-handed. So I get fallout and kickback and all that. So I'm sorry, but this is what this palette looks like, and I actually almost decluttered this one, but then I decided to keep it because it is such a good bare necessity product. I think you have all of the neutrals you could ever need. You have some beautiful shimmers in there too. I just think this is a very well-rounded palette where you really have a lot to choose from, and honestly there's so many different undertones and all that good stuff. So for that reason, I would definitely put it in here. And also, if you look at the bottom row, there's so many different kind of shimmers to where you could go glam if you really wanted to as well. So for that reason, I really love this palette, and I would definitely have to say I would keep it if I could only keep 10. And whenever I want to really amp things up and I want to take it there with the drama and I want to get sultry and I want to get glam, I do like to go into the Sultry Anastasia Beverly Hills palette. When I first got this one, I'm not gonna lie you guys, that was kind of when I wasn't that into eyeshadows and I really didn't know what I was doing as much as I do now. I still don't really know what I'm doing, but I know what I'm doing more than before, which was in 2016 or something. So yeah, I really love this one because when you open this baby up, I'm going to show you guys, you have some beautiful shades in here. We're achieving a beautiful sultry look. Now, one of the main things too that I like about this palette, which is different than the other ones I'm going to show you guys, is that there are some cool tone shades in here. So I'm going to go ahead and swatch a few for you guys so you can see what I'm talking about. So here are 3 tones that do run a bit cool. Now I really love that because I was gonna choose the rose quartz to also be in this lineup because I was I don't really have a lot of cool tone palettes I'm choosing. But then I was well, the Sultry definitely does have some cool tones to it. So I decided to choose that one, and you guys, the metallics in this palette are so good. They're so unreal. I really love the quality, and of course the mattes are amazing too. but I really think the shimmer stood out to me more than anything, and I make so many of my edgier looks with this palette, and you just can't go wrong. So thank you, Kayla, my girlfriend, for getting this for me. I love it. Then we have the Supreme Nudes, the Quickie Artist Couture palette. I love the packaging of this. I love the nude. And then you open it up and you just have all of these beautiful neutral looks. Now, what I like about this one, I kind of didn't want to add it because you only get 8 shades. So I was like, Lindsay, you're kind of like jibbing yourself. But then I was like, well, no, because at the end of the day, I feel like I use this one very often. And I feel like when I do use it too, I'm able to create something that's super easy that I always know I'm gonna like. You know what I'm saying? So you're not going to be able to get super creative with this specific one, but you will get an eye look that does look flattering basically every time you do use it. And I think these really blend super effortlessly. Like sometimes I'll literally just use one brush for the whole entire eye look and it looks bomb. So I love the tones they chose. I really do. One thing that I will say, the only one thing that I will say, not negative, but is that they do have a bigger version that I'm not familiar with. I have never ever played with that one, but if you've played with that one, maybe you would recommend the big one before the smaller one, because then if you only have 10, palettes, you'd want the bigger one. But I will say there's some tones in here, like some shades I mean, that you only get in this specific palette, like Supreme 2.0 and Iconic. So because of that, I don't know if you guys would want this one or the other one. I haven't like played with the other one, so I can't really like give you guys an opinion on that, but nonetheless, I really love this palette and I definitely would love it to have in my collection. And then you guys, if I could only have 10 palettes, I'm picking this one. This is the Nude Huda Beauty palette. I love this one because it's super pinky tone, and you guys, I love a good pinky purpley eye look. Like, look at this, but it leans like very soft compared to other ones that I do have in my collection, which I actually really do like, especially for every day. You also have some different textures in there, which we already know Huda Beauty definitely knocks it out of the park with that. And then you have some glitters, which I'm gonna be honest, I don't really play with those, but it's nice to have that as an option as well. So yeah, the quality of this is amazing. You get all those different textures, and I could definitely see myself, if I had to have like one palette, this would be very high on the list, because even I remember when I first got it, I was wearing it every single day. I had to make myself like pry it out of my hands because I was using it so often. So for that reason, I was like, oh yeah, this would just have to be in there 100% before any of her palettes. So yeah, I love this one so much. I definitely have a soft spot in my heart for it, and it just has to be in this lineup. And then you guys already know I had to choose some type of colorful palette, so I chose the Fade into Hue from Colourpop. I feel like a lot of you guys probably would have already guessed that this is in here, but let me show you why. I love this rainbow palette, and one of the reasons that I love it the most is because it's not your typical rainbow palette. Some of you guys are probably like, what are you talking about? It's a rainbow palette. But I mean that the colors they put in here are not super neon, not all of them. They're very, like some of them are actually muted colors, you know what I'm saying? So it is a little bit more approachable this is just my opinion. I feel like they really nailed it with making it not too intimidating, not too scary. I definitely could get a lot of use out of this one. Like, say if someone told me you have to use this one palette for the rest of your life, like this is the only thing. I mean, obviously I'd be really sad because I love my neutrals, but this is the one that I would definitely be okay with above all the other ones that I have tried, to just have that be the only one I could make looks with for the rest of my life, because these are way more approachable and to me way more flattering on the eyes, on me personally. So for that reason, I really love this one. You do also have shimmers in there, which I love as well. So yeah, definitely had to put this here. I love the quality. I wish I would have gotten this one when it first came out, so it could have been a part of my collection sooner, but I already love it after only playing with it like what, 3-4 times. It's a really good one, you guys. I'm sorry I talk so much, but it's just like I have so much information that I just want to tell you guys because I just love makeup so much. I really love this little exercise. So moving on to the next one. So then we have the Lunar Beauty Greek Goddess palette. This is just another neutral palette with a pop of color. I love the packaging. Like, we have to talk about that, of course. But this is what the palette is looking like. It's not focusing, is it? Okay, this is what the palette is looking like. Let me try to get it up there for you guys. This is what it looks like, and I really, really love this one. This is just another standout neutral palette that I just had to talk about. I just had to bring this one up. I would just love to have this one in my lineup of 10 palettes because honestly, 9 times out of 10, if I'm in a rush, you guys, I am doing a neutral eye look, so I like to have multiple of those to choose from. That's why I'm just picking more neutrals, I feel like, than anything, but I love this one. The quality is amazing. There's something special with the shimmers here, and I just think this is a very, very slept on palette from Lunar Beauty, so I just had to mention this one because it's beautiful. It truly is. Then we have another one from Huda Beauty. Huda Beauty has some of my favorite eyeshadows, so I knew I had to put this here. I feel like some of you guys are probably going to guess the rose quartz. It's not the rose quartz. It is the Mercury retrograde, excuse me. I love this one, and I really do love that packaging. But you guys, what I love more than anything is what is on the inside. So you have that big behind mirror, which is always great. And then below that, you have this beautiful color layout. I mean, it's stunning to me. So what I really love about this color layout is that if you look at the top row, you do have a good amount of like color, pops of color. But then if you look at the second and third row, you have a lot of neutral pinky tones. And that's really, really what I like. I love to have, well, they're kind of plummy leaning, but either way, some are plummy and then some are neutral. If you look over here, you see more of plummy on this half, and then over here you see like more neutral. So I think that's really, really interesting and cool that they even set it up that way as well. But I love it because if I want to have a colorful look, I can go to the top row. If I want to do more something muted, something neutral, I can go over here to this little section. And then if I want a beautiful plummy pinky eye look, which you guys know that I really, really love, I can go over here. Or I can like just make a look with everything. I really enjoy that. So I love this palette, and oh my goodness, I feel like this is one of those where I say like it was made for me. But like I do feel that way for real. I love this one so much and I can't get enough of it. And then you guys, we are getting down to the final 2 palettes. Oh my goodness, this was so hard to do, but it's going by so quickly to like share with you guys. But this is the So Jaded Kathleenlights palette, and oh my goodness, this is a really good one. I talk about it so often on my channel, and for good freaking reason. It is amazing. Now I will say, like, if you're someone who is looking for a palette that does have pops of color, but you don't want to be super overwhelmed, and you're tired of those neutral palettes that just have 1 or 2 pops of color, this is perfect. This is definitely perfect. This one is just beautiful. It has such beautiful jewel tones, and I genuinely feel like it's not going to scare you too much away from color because you have these really, really beautiful approachable shades. Like, for example, to me, this one right here and this one right there are so approachable. You guys are probably like, this shade is not approachable, but I swear it looks so beautiful all over your eyelids. Like, you will not feel like you are wearing something that's super out of your comfort zone. I really don't think that you will. Maybe you guys are like, Lindsay, yes, I will. But I swear, this looks so flattering all over the eyelids. Even if you're not the biggest lover of color, I think you will really, really like it. And then like that orange shade right there that I was talking about earlier, go ahead and give it a little swatcheroo. Look at this too. Like, these are not super intimidating. I understand that the first one is a little bit more intimidating. Okay, whatever. But I feel like this is the perfect transition palette for someone who is tired of those pops of color and their neutral palettes and wants to adventure. I love this one, and I think that you guys would too. And honestly, like, even if you look at these rows right here, these 2 right here, you really don't see a bunch of colors. You know what I'm saying? Like a bunch of color. So for that reason, yeah, I really, really love this palette, and I think that you guys would too. If you don't already have it by now, like, guys, get it. Try to get it on a sale though, because it is one of the ones that's a little bit more expensive. It's like $40, and you know, it's kind of up there. So definitely try to get it on a sale. But if you can get it because it's beautiful. So beautiful. Oh my gosh, we're at the last one, and you guys, the last palette I chose was like a holiday celebrational, very fall, you know, esque palette, because I feel like we were kind of missing that. So I added this one. I feel like if you guys have watched any of my videos before, you know exactly which one this is, and I think you just saw it a little bit. But this is the NARS, what is it, Climax palette, and you guys, on the outside, of course, it's pretty. But you open it up and you have some really beautiful holiday shades in there, that green, that blue. Let me go ahead and swatch those for you as well because they're so pretty. And what I love about them is they're a little bit more like on the neutral, like not neutral, excuse me, muted side. So you guys see that? You guys see the green and the blue? They're not very like standard, if that makes sense. Not standard, like traditional, like your traditional blue and your traditional green that can be kind of scary. I feel like the undertones of these are amazing, and honestly they give me like Christmas vibes 100%. Like you guys have to look at that and you can't tell me that doesn't give you Christmas vibes with the shades they chose. Ooh, if they would have added a red in here but like made it muted like that too, like a cranberry kind of red, ooh, that would have been so beautiful in here. I think that's the one thing it's missing that I really would have loved to see. But this is perfect to wear for any holiday occasion, parties, get-togethers, just hangouts with your boo. Like I think that this is a really standout palette in my collection, and I am so happy to have it. It's really good quality, and I don't know, I had never tried anything from NARS, so I was like, I'll give it a try, but I really liked it, so I'm really happy about that. You guys actually got that on their sale because they're a little expensive, but you know, nonetheless, a beautiful palette to have. And that's it, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. You know, I'm not 100% confident in all the stuff I chose, but I'm like 80%, which for how many palettes I have, if you guys have watched my palette videos, that's pretty good to me, so I'm okay with that. I love you guys so much. I hope that you enjoyed the palettes I chose. Comment down below what palettes you would choose if you could only have 10. If 10 is too big of a number for you, maybe try like 5 palettes that you would keep if you could only have 5. Either or, I would love to hear them. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you really enjoyed. If you did, leave it a like below, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff, and I'll see you guys in the next video, besties. Bye!